Welcome back, thanks for joining us again for part 2 of this escapade driving from our home in the UK in our family self-built campervan all the way to Portugal for a festival, a 5-day festival there, and then driving all the way back to the UK in 2 weeks. We're driving here through the Duro Valley, getting to the festival. It's a really beautiful place to drive. There's a lovely view across the valley and the roads are just fantastic, a real driver's road. We'd already stocked up on supplies and then we made it to the Duro River. We went across the Duro River and then this happened.
There, Ross has just got there. Yeah, the helicopters are over as well.
Luckily we're 8 miles away from where we need to go, so hopefully we'll miss that, but if there's any danger of that as well, I'm not risking that.
No, definitely not. It's taken, that house.
The locals seem to take this stuff in their stride, but as an outsider looking in, it was pretty shocking. The road was blocked, understandably, so we had to drive back down the crazy road, back down over the Douro River, until we found a small road that ran alongside the river for about 25 kilometres until we could find another crossing. But we finally made it across the river after our 2.5 hour journey became 6 hours after doing one thing and another and the forest fires. Just made us even more happy when we finally made it to Festança, the Permaculture and Wellbeing Festival. We were pretty tired by the time we got here due to the journey here, but it was lovely and warm and just such a beautiful sight. Still pretty warm in the evening, luckily not as hot as the 2 years earlier we went. Because we were in the shade of the trees this time, the temperature didn't get up like as high as it did previously when we were there. We needed to look after Max, our dog, so we needed to make sure it was nice and shaded. I think a lot of people had the same idea of getting in the shade of the trees. It just made so much sense. It cut out the real heat of the midday sun and the late afternoon sun. The only thing is, it came with its own issues, which we didn't realise until we've been there for a couple of days, which we'll get onto in a minute. The festival was really similar to how we remember it in 2023. It got a really nice, chilled, sort of low-key vibe. Really nice. Had some lovely music in the evenings until the weekend hit, and then it got a little bit more crazy, but in a really nice way. The site was beautiful. It's got a river beach and it's just in a slight valley up in the mountains. It's really great. The kids had loads to do, so they were really happy. They did workshops and made dream catchers and art and things like that. And then as the Friday evening came, the music ramped up. We got really drunk because the kids were happy playing with a German and a Dutch family. So yeah, I missed out most of Saturday with a hangover because I don't drink that much. I didn't mind. I just hung around the van. It was such a, like I say, such a warm, beautiful vibe, crystal clear air up in the mountains. We were right next to a washing station, so it was easy to wash. So I looked after Max in the heat of the day, made sure he was okay, and we just had a really chilled time. The only thing was, being in the shade of the trees really affected the solar light much more than I thought it would, so I kept having to run the van just so the alternator charged up the leisure battery, which was a little bit weird being at a permaculture festival and sat in a diesel van with it running. But again, it was just a lovely vibe. Nobody was that bothered. It was so chilled. Had some lovely music during the day. And then all of a sudden on the Saturday afternoon there was drumming in the distance, and it got closer and closer and louder. And we were really privileged to be treated to a traditional Portuguese drumming band, and they were absolutely fantastic. They were really brilliant. They really got the vibe going, and then they got invited down and they came into the festival. It was really lovely when they came down into the site because everybody came out to see what was going on and see what was happening. The only person who didn't really appreciate it or couldn't appreciate it was Max because he's deaf, bless him. But everybody else seemed to really appreciate them coming down and playing their music and just getting the vibe going. It was like a really good warm-up for the music that was going to come in the evening, which was great. Everybody seemed to really love it. It started off really gentle with some sort of folk music and then some local music from a Portuguese singer, which was really nice, really mellow. But then it really ramped up. It got some fantastic music going in the evening. The disco, if that's what it's still called nowadays, was brilliant. They came all the way from Argentina to play this festival, and they were absolutely brilliant. They got everybody up dancing, and it was a really good vibe. Just fantastic night. Really, really brilliant. And got an old fart like me up on the dance floor and doing a bit, shaking my thing. So yeah, they must have been doing something right. The kids loved it because it was such an energetic vibe. And then on the Sunday, me and Jodie decided to do something extremely spontaneous and get the Festança symbol, which represents permaculture and the circle of life, tattooed on our forearms. So there we go, we've got a permanent reminder of our wonderful time at Festança. We got to meet the owner, Fred, who organised the whole thing. So it was really lovely to meet him and find out more about the festival and its origins and its meaning. Before we knew it, it was night time again. There was another great music act in the evening. Really enjoyed this one as well. Some great music acts on, really, really good. And when we got back to the van, unfortunately the solar was completely dead. It had been so warm in the day and at night that the fridge had just been running 24/7, so the battery had just died, the leisure battery, and the fridge was at 16 degrees. But before we knew it, it was time to pack up and go. We managed to kill our levelling blocks with the heat and the weight of the van. I don't think they liked it very much. But yeah, that was it, another year. So we said goodbye to a very dusty Festança festival and got the van ready for the off. We had a great time. We did some wonderful workshops. Jodie had a lovely massage and I did a happy ceremony, which blew my socks off. But yeah, we love Festança and we definitely hope to see you again. And we hope to see you again for part 3 when we make our way home and have an absolute nightmare at the Channel Tunnel getting home and back to the UK. But yeah, if you like what you've seen, please give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.